I'm just going to repeat: software, hardware. A lot of us is in the software. That's why it takes us so long to develop. That's why we're so adaptable and really malleable. And then I would also say that we operate at like a below satisfaction level constantly, and this forces us to problem solve more than any other animal, and drives us crazy when we can't find a problem to solve. Hi guys, welcome to CYC. Today, the little bit of chaos I want to look at is why we're never satisfied, why we're never happy, and what the hell is wrong with that. We could be at the top of the pyramid, top of our game, and we still want more, need more, and that just seems wrong, kind of, but it's not. First question I'm going to ask: why does it take us so long to grow up, to develop? Like, as in, like, it takes us a year to walk, it takes us longer to like learn how to speak, it takes us even longer to contribute like resources and stuff to the community. Like, it's like 25 when we're kind of, and even then that might even be an early estimate of when we're like properly developed, and that's ridiculously long. Like, other animals can walk within the first 5 minutes. What is with that? Okay, and yes, as in, like, people have said it's because we're super smart and all the rest. That's not quite right. What I want you to look at is like a computer with hardware and software, and animals seem to have a lot of stuff in the hardware. They are built for a certain environment, a certain ecology, as in to run away from certain predators, not all predators, certain predators, to run, like, to chase certain prey, and all that other stuff. For humans, we seem to have moved most of our kind of what we are into software. And this has made us the most adaptable, like, animal on the planet. By far. We are everywhere. It's also why it takes us so long to kind of figure out, like, you know, what we want to be and like all this other stuff. And by the way, I'm not trying to say that we've ignored biology altogether. There's definitely confinements. If you are not close to 7 foot, it is very unlikely that you're going to be a basketball player. I am sorry. But your environment, your parents, like everything else, dictate so much. Like what language you speak, how you speak, what way you walk, what way you present yourself, how charismatic you are, how personable you are, how you interpret the same expression. Like, one culture or one person from a culture could interpret it as anger, and another could interpret it as focus or something else. And that's a lot. Okay, but like, how does that link into us not being satisfied, us being just continually frustrated that we're never satisfied? And here, this deviates away from science. This is my interpretation of what's going on, and I would say that there's like a weird kind of threshold, and we're going to say it's like, call it 100, doesn't matter. And animals seem to kind of live at 100, or if they're really lazy, like 110. Like if you have a house cat, that's like 120. Either way. And when the outside world affects them, then they dip down, and they'll dip down to like 90 or something, and it's like, oh, that problem needs to be solved to bring me back up to normal, to bring me back up to happy. And that's fine. This is, animals get hungry, they go get food. Their babies are in trouble, they protect the babies. Their nest gets damaged, they fix the nest. That sort of problem solving. Humans seem to operate at 90. So when there's not a problem, we are always searching for a problem. It is adaptability on steroids. It is problem solving on steroids. It's ridiculous. So that is the way I interpret that. And as in, like, this might sound kind of like odd, but you don't realize just how strong that drive is. It is ridiculously strong. And there are experiments, of course, to prove how strong that drive is, of just boredom, of not being able to sit still. There is a study, I think it's a Harvard study, and they have college students sit in a room for 10 minutes. At the start of the 10 minutes, they say, here's an electric box, or like a box and like a little probe. You can electrocute yourself. And they all say no. Like, why would I ever do that? That's a logical answer. Fair enough. After 10 to 15 minutes, over 70% of them have shocked themselves out of pure boredom, out of trying to challenge themselves, out of like whatever sort of thought pattern you want. It doesn't matter. It just matters that over 70% shock themselves. Like, it's not logical. And it doesn't have to be. It's just a force trying to push you forward in any direction. And if the only direction is, well, there's an electric box here, that's going to happen. And don't pretend you're above this. You probably would do it too. If I put you beside an electric fence and you have to stay there for like a half an hour, eventually you're just going to be like, I wonder how strong this fence is. It's just idle curiosity. And it's kind of what we're built for. And you can look at this like throughout history as well. As in, like, think of England before they colonized the world. And you just have like a country that works relatively well, I think. And then you just have like some random guy saying, I want to float off on a log and see if I can find a different piece of dirt. And I think I can do a better job. Like, it's not always logical. It's kind of weird. And it can be destructive or it could be constructive. And you always want it to be constructive. I get that. But I think we've lost sight of the fact that that's what we're built for. We are built to adapt, not to be happy, not to be satisfied. We're built to move forward. And somewhere along the lines, we got told something different. And I mean simply in the Western world. As in, like, if you study Buddhism, you will understand that one of the core tenets, I think it's like top 3 or something like that, is that life is suffering. You have Stoicism, which is based pretty much all around that. This is not a new idea. We have had this, we've understood this for quite a long time. But just in the last, I'm going to say 50 years, it seems that the narrative that we tell ourselves is that we are aiming for happiness, success. Like, we're such a prosperous country. Like, what else would we want? What else do we need? As in, like, we have shelter, we have food, we have water. You should be happy. Wi-Fi is a luxury. Like, you don't need like a fancy car. You don't need like whatever else. You just need the basics and then you should be happy. And that's just not humanity. That is not the animal we are. If we do not have a goal to move towards, and if we do not have something to run away from, it goes against the way we're built. We are wired up, like, to the core, wired to be moving forward. And it only works out 1% of the time. I think I've said this multiple times through multiple videos. The success rate for this type of thing is like 1%, if not less. And I'm not trying to say this to discourage you or anything like that. I'm just trying to say that the same urge to move, like, that makes you grab the electric wire like an absolute nonce, is the same urge that gets someone to make something fancy, like craft something or build or start a business or figure out a new app or optimize something that's already there, or like whatever else. You're just like, I'm up to nothing else. I could do this. I want to do this. I'm not going to be happy until I find something constructive to do. That urge, that need, while it can be overwhelming, as in, like, for some people, like, as I said, like, some people, you might need medication and all the rest. If you exhaust yourself on a day and by the end of the day you're just like, I need to do more, like, that is unhealthy and is coming from probably a bad place. And there's even less than that, like, maybe learn to do mindfulness meditation, maybe learn that a certain amount of exercise makes you feel a certain amount of exhaustion, which makes you satisfied with the day. Like, learn what satisfies some bit. I'm not trying to say that this is a force to just be like, let go of the reins and just let it run riot, because as I said, it can be constructive or deconstructive, and if you do not aim it, if you do not kind of tend to it, it'll go the wrong way. But even if it doesn't work out, even if you aim it the right way and you start 50 businesses, 100 businesses, whatever, you craft different things, you paint 100 paintings, you make 20 songs, you, like, whatever it is, you make an app. I don't mind. You just read new books, you go down a rabbit hole, this, like, you just feed the curiosity somehow, even if it doesn't work out, even if most of the time it's a total waste of time. The 1% of the time it does works out so well that it justifies all of it. And I want you to take pride in that trait, if I can. I don't quite know how to get you to do this, but just the urge, the need for more is the same need that Elon Musk has, or that Steve Jobs, or Jeff Bezos, or any of the other like rich tycoons that you want to compare yourself to, whatever. It is the same need, some kind of insecurity, or like whatever else, just the want for more. And you should just take pride in being part of the species that has this drive. If I could get that across, that'd be awesome. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to repeat: software, hardware. A lot of us is in the software. That's why it takes us so long to develop. That's why we're so adaptable and really malleable. And then I would also say that we operate at like a below satisfaction level constantly, and this forces us to problem solve more than any other animal, and drives us crazy when we can't find a problem to solve. So that's the 2 takeaways. That is it for today. I will see you again next Tuesday. Bye guys.